Westerns were not necessarily in fashion, I don't think, in the late 80s. Did Young
They were
Guns
not.
did Young Guns feel kind of like a big swing for you guys at the time?
For sure, for sure. Young Guns. Again, I at the time I owned a house in Montana, so I was around horses and guns, and so for me, the opportunity to get on a horse and actually get paid for it, and play this historical character, I thought, man, when I read the script, I lobbied hard because I was not the first choice. The director was looking at a lot of other actors to play that role,
Hmm.
and I actually called the director who I knew I'd worked with before, and I said I was born to play Billy the Kid. And he says, "What do you mean?" I said, "I was born to play this role, and you can go on, and do audition whomever you want." I said, "I'll come in, I'll audition, whatever you're going to end up casting me in this film." And he says, "Well, what about you playing Doc? You're more the sensitive guy, and I'm really thinking about Kiefer Sutherland to play Billy." I said, "Got it the wrong way, bro. You got it the wrong way. Switch him." And he did.
I
Sorry,
love
Kiefer. Yeah,
it. Yeah. Well, Kiefer had a good time. I did one of these
he did.
I did one of these with Kiefer, and he told me that that was the most fun he'd ever had making a film. Was this like an outsiders type experience?
It
I mean,
was. It
people
was.
a
I mean,
little
we
older.
had 3 weeks of just horse training where we just ride, and we and how the wranglers got us more comfortable on a horse playing tag. So again, you have to get real close to people if you want to touch them and tag them. But horse doesn't necessarily want to get that close. It was always running in, and cutting one way and cutting the other. And so it was 3 weeks of kind of a boys' camp of
Mhm.
learning how to ride and shoot better, and really train at that. But the thing, the where Kiefer made the mistake, well, I'd say this to his face, is that he insisted if he come back for Young Guns 2, that he only was available and play a smaller part. I think he was only available for 3 or 4 weeks, and that he had to be shot in the shootout at Stinking Springs, which is a historically documented shootout between Billy the Kid's gang and Pat Garrett. Well, Doc Skurlock wasn't there. It was Charlie Bowdry. Charlie Bowdry was there. Doc Skurlock lived on to be a 90-year-old man.
Mhm.
So Kiefer made sure that he's not in part 3 by getting himself killed in part 2, which again is historically inaccurate.
Yeah,
Charlie Bowdry was played by Casey Siemaszko,
yeah.
and who was not killed at the battle in Lincoln County during the Lincoln County War.
Mhm. Mhm.
For all you history nerds out there,
So is part 3 still in the works?
it is. Now, part 3 is something that we've been on and off working on the script for better part of a couple of years, and trying to figure out all the legal on it, and who would be the distributor, and Morgan Creek, figuring out copyright and rights issues and all of. So I think we're finally there to a certain extent,
Mhm.
but again, that remains to be seen. But I certainly think there's an audience for it. I think nostalgia is now is at a premium,
Yeah.
and people, that's a story that we can get a lot of mileage out of still.
Oh
We're
yeah.
not calling it Young anymore. We're just going to call it Guns,
Guns.
because for for obvious reasons.